I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Hey cunts, welcome to another Lightning Review. Today we're here doing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, as you can see. So right off the bat, this video is going to be spoiler city. So if you really want to experience this for yourself, back out now and come back. I can't really give my honest opinion of this game without spoiling the story, so just be warned heading in. So as I did before with The Last of Us 2, what we'll do is we'll go through some pros, some cons, and at the end I'll give my final score of what I think of the game. If you've been here for a while, you probably know that I'm a huge Zelda fan, so this is a really weird video for me to make. Oh, dramatic premonition. Starting with some positives, because I'm not always such a negative cunt. This game feels like a fucking dream to play. I don't really remember how the old game felt. It's been years since I played it back on the Wii U, but I definitely don't feel like they were this smooth. I can't say for sure they're leaps and bounds better now, but they definitely feel rock solid here. And here's another thing I don't remember in the last game. I don't remember the characters' feelings varied with their movesets and the way they control. Like, there's just such a difference to a lot of the characters. Like, there's Daruk, he's like a tank. There's Mipha, she's sort of like weaker, but she's very, very fast. Then there's Rivali, who has like a flying, fighting style, which is really cool, even though he's a cockhead. One little thing I want to tack on the end of this pro is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is fucking amazing. Particularly the map song gives me massive Skyrim vibes, and that's a good thing. Super fucking cool soundtrack. But really, would it be a Zelda game without a good soundtrack? Who are we fucking kidding? So something that doesn't feel solid about this game is the frame rate. The frame rate multiple times throughout the game is very, very choppy. Even in the first battle, I remember starting up this game, I was like, man, it looks good. Man, it controls good. Holy fuck, what is that frame rate? It sort of dips and jumps all over the place. It didn't really take me out of the experience. It was sort of like a bit, that's a bit fucked, but it wasn't enough to ruin the experience for me. I just don't think the Switch is capable of handling the amount of enemies they had on screen in this game. At some points there's like absolute hordes and you're spinning them and throwing them all over the place, and the Switch is just like, oh my fucking god, what is going on? Yeah, like I said, didn't ruin the experience for me. And another negative I want to touch on is the Divine Beasts. At first I really liked the Divine Beast segments. You go through, you're fucking them up, sending lasers, shooting fucking ice things out of the sky. Really, really cool. The first couple of times. Then the game's just like, hey, you know that really cool gimmick? We're gonna do that heaps more times. And you sort of have to do it for the story. And I'm just like, can we not? Make them maybe optional if you're gonna add heaps of them, because by the end of it I was just like, this is just pumped on the brakes. I wanna get into slashing some cunts. And one other thing that sort of is a bit nitpicky on my part is the game is super fucking easy. The main storyline, I only died once, I think, and that was I sort of soft-locked myself into a fail condition. Yeah, it was just like a breeze to play through the whole game. Like, there was no challenge whatsoever, basically. There's a lot of cool portions to the story in this game. It's not particularly those I really want to touch on. There's a couple I'll mention, but it really just makes me want to play Breath of the Wild, and it makes me really hyped to see the next Breath of the Wild game. Even though this is like a totally different style to Breath of the Wild, they've captured the atmosphere and just everything about it perfectly. It's so weird to see a game that's such a different overall genre, but it's like, yeah, this is basically a prequel to Breath of the Wild in essence. A couple of really, really fucking cool parts I want to mention is the part where Link first gets the Master Sword. That was fucking sick. You felt so powerful, just like the Shadow Guardians were coming at you, and you're just like, fuck off your dog, fuck off your dog, and fuck off your dog. Just slaying them. It felt super, super cool. That's how it should feel when you're wielding the Master Sword. You should feel like a badass. Also, the boss fights with the Blight Genins were pretty cool. As I said before, because of the difficulty, they weren't anywhere near as much of a challenge as they were in Breath of the Wild. I struggled with them in Breath of the Wild. They absolutely kicked my ass a bunch of times, particularly the Thunder Blight. But in this, they're piss easy, but the boss fights are really cool. Now here's the part that I've been building up to the whole video, is the overall story. What an absolute fucking shit show this turned out to be. What we were promised is a game set 100 years before Breath of the Wild, which technically it is, But I get not giving everything away in marketing material, but this is just something else. I feel like I've just been lied to. Like, seeing all those ads where it's like, you're finally ready to see what happened 100 years ago. That's not what we got at all. When I heard that this game was going to be a thing and what the story was based on, I was so fucking hyped. I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be like an Avengers Infinity War level of fucking ending. Like, the good guys are going to lose at the end, and there'll just be this feeling of hopelessness, and then Breath of the Wild happens, and you find out what actually happens. But that didn't happen. Like, just imagine that as a game for a second. You're playing a normal Zelda game, then all of a sudden shit goes pear-shaped. Your teammates start dropping off one by one, people start dying all around you, until it's basically just Link and Zelda left. And then Link gets struck down, as we see happens in Breath of the Wild, and Zelda has to save his life, and basically at the end everything's fucked. Fucking Hyrule's fucked, everyone's fucked. That's a game I would play. I really wanted to see that. I wanted to be hit right in the feels. I was ready for it. But they stole it. Like, I just can't honestly express how disappointed the story made me. As soon as I saw the direction it was going, I lost a lot of the interest I had for the game. Like, up until the twist was uncovered where it's not actually a prequel, I was doing all the side stuff. I was super fucking hyped. I was doing everything I could in the game. And then after that, I just dropped off. I was just doing main missions, just stepping through, just ticking boxes, just trying to get to the end, just to wrap it up, because it just lost me hard. And I hate to say that about a Zelda game. I fucking love Zelda games, but this just absolutely blindsided me, and just, I felt like I'd been coward punched by Nintendo. Like, what I really wanted was an emotionally rich story. I wanted something that I could fucking feel, but then they're like, hey, how about we bring in the Wish.com versions of the Guardians? They'll come back and save the day. Fucking boring. Like, even the one emotionally fucking rich part of the game that we got was where King Rome dies. I was like, fuck, that is deep. And then they brought the cunt back. Just let him die. Like, it was such just a genuinely emotional moment. King Rome stays back with his guards to fight off the Guardians, so Link and Zelda have time to escape. Zelda doesn't want to leave. Link doesn't want to leave, but the King's like, Link, you're going to do your duty. You're going to take Zelda and be safe. So he grabs her by the hand and fucking runs. Zelda's trying to pull back to go back to her dad. You hear in the distance them dying. Zelda's fucking losing it, trying to run back, but Link's doing his job. He's just fucking running off with her. It was like, whoa. Here's where shit hits the fan. And I was ready for the game to carry on with that. To just keep, like, that's what we needed. We needed some of that shit. And then they're just like, lol jokes, everyone's alive, happy ending. You're welcome. And I'm just like, fuck you cunts. And it turned out the king was just saved by a fucking magic MacGuffin that Zelda gave him earlier, so it was like, fuck. I feel like I could yell for half an hour about how much this game disappointed me, but in conclusion, mechanically, the game is really good. I really enjoyed that. But the story is what I came for, and the story is what fucking put me down. And it just dampens the whole experience, in my opinion. Especially if you go in wanting that story. If you're not too worried about the story, and like you just go in wanting a good, solid, mechanically sound game, you got it. Story though, don't go looking for what they've advertised, because it is not there. This game was honestly going to be on my top 5 of last year, but this is exactly the reason why I only put games I finish on that list. I think overall this game deserves a 4.5 stupid egg robots out of 10. The story was a really big issue for me, and in addition to the frame rate, I couldn't really in good faith give this game a better score. If it wasn't for the really, really solid mechanics, I would have given it a lower score, but that's where I feel it sits. And now I've just made myself angry after talking about this game for a bit and how fucked the story was. But thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Thanks for spending your time coming and checking out my videos. Make sure to check out my Twitch channel along the bottom here. I stream every Wednesday from 8:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard or Daylight Savings Time, so come hang out, we talk shit. Been playing Valheim lately, that's why this video is so late. I've been just sinking so much time into Valheim. But yeah, thanks again guys, really appreciate ya. Stick around to the end card, check out one of my other videos, or watch my playlist of other original content. It's good, I think, trust me, hopefully. Cheers cunts.